Hey there, West Michigan. Thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. It has been a chilly weekend, but there's been some good opportunities to get some lovely weather photos if you've been out braving the temperatures. This picture here yesterday got a couple more rainbow photos in. Scott took this photo in Grand Haven. You can see both ends of the rainbow there, including that right side where it's actually coming down pretty much right on top of the lighthouse. Another view of the double rainbow from New Era. Thanks to Crystal for sending this our way. This morning, though, temperatures were kind of chilly out there, and Robert up in White Cloud got a little bit of frost outside. We're certainly getting to that time of the year. Of course, we're also at that time of the year where the trees are starting to change. Bill capturing some of those changing colors in Ravenna today when the sunshine was out for a little bit, and then Lynn got a picture of a beautiful sunset with all the colors in the sky over in Pentwater. Of course, you can always send us your weather photos on social media. Find me, meteorologist Michael Behrens, on Facebook and at Mike Behrens WX on the X, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Temperature out there today hit 55, Grand Rapids 59, Muskegon, and 55 in Holland. We told you 52, so that's still inside 3 degrees now. 9 days in a row with only 3 misses in the last month of forecasting. When it comes to tomorrow, look for temperatures that don't really change much from today. That's why 13 weather ball is lit up in green as no changes foreseen. That weather ball blinking bright as we still have some lake effect rain chances in sight.
The 13 Weather Ball is sponsored by LaFontaine Lincoln Grand Rapids.
And of course, with those rain chances pushing through and winds coming from the northwest, our temperatures this weekend have been quite chilly. In fact, already down into the 30s up in our northern counties. 38 Fremont and in Big Rapids feels like 33 when you factor in the wind. Feels like 36 in Ionia, 47 what it feels like in temperature actually is in Holland, 50 still in Muskegon. Temperatures in many spots tonight will continue to fall down into the 30s as winds come in from the northwest and periods of clearing come through the skies with those rain chances as well. Cloud cover stays in place, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy throughout tonight. There will be some peaks of clear skies through it, though. Again, may see a lake effect rain shower between now and sunrise. Most of the rain chances gone as we head into tomorrow with temperatures that'll stay in the low 50s. If we do see a shower tomorrow, it's likely to be north of 96. That's the best chance with a few showers possible across the whole region Tuesday. Temperatures staying in the low 50s as we head into the start of this week, dropping into the 30s again for many spots as we head through tonight. Here's the radar as of about 10:37. That's where you can see the scattered lake effect rain pushing its way in. Up to the north, you can see some working into Newaygo County and down along the lakeshore toward Kalamazoo as well. Most of this is going to stay west of 131 in the parent system that's pushing those winds across Lake Michigan, generating this wind, and the lake effect rain is up into portions of Quebec. This is going to be working its way back off toward the west, though, over the next couple of days, and that's what's going to bring us more cloud cover into the early part of this week and our rain chances Monday and Tuesday as well. Hour by hour forecast here shows what we're talking about. You see those lake effect rain showers through tonight. They're pretty much gone by tomorrow morning. We'll start the day off dry, but as we head into the afternoon, cloud cover will pick up. And look up north. Here come those rain chances. Northern counties, they'll be hanging around into Monday night, early Tuesday, and then as we head into the day Tuesday, all of us looking to be pretty overcast with a few showers that may develop and push through as well. And really not a lot of dry weather in the next 10 days. There's going to be at least some chance for rain on most days, so make sure you keep the 13 on your side app ready to go so you can check that radar before you head out the door. Temperatures out there Monday, breezy and low 50s on the lakeshore. It gets about as warm as 53 for Muskegon, Holland to the south. Temperatures cooler inland, low 50s in our northern zones. We'll be hanging around low 50s as well from Grand Rapids down to Kalamazoo. 13 on your side, 10-day outlook. Temperatures stay in the low 50s to start this week, briefly getting to 58 Wednesday, the only totally dry day we have in the forecast. Temperatures will drop right back down, though, as we head toward Thursday and Friday. That's when widespread showers, possibly some thunder, come through West Michigan. Temperatures stay cool after that, drying up by next week, but not really getting back out of the mid-50s, at least when it comes to the next 10 days.
The 13 on your side beach and boating forecast, sponsored by AAC Credit Union.
And the same pattern bringing us those rain chances is also kicking up big waves on Lake Michigan. Your beach and boating forecast has waves as high as 7 feet across the West Michigan shoreline on Monday. That means small craft advisories will stay in place as those waves kick up throughout the day. Water temperatures are on a downward slide with the weather pattern we're in. That will probably continue to be the case for the next week or more. Temperatures now in the mid 40s for places like Duck Lake and Muskegon. Still a few 60s out there, but it's becoming less and less as the lake waters start to cool down. And staying at the lakeshore, one recent college graduate is turning trash from the beach into treasure. 13 on your side's Julie Koharic spoke with the Muskegon native about his company and how it's helping the environment.
A natural love of the outdoors and a gratitude for the beach he calls home.
I was fortunate enough to grow up in Muskegon and fall in love with the beach and everything that it stands for.
That's what inspires Jackson to keep it that way.
It just makes me feel a huge responsibility to do my part so that future generations can experience that same wonder and love for Lake Michigan that I grew up with.
When he was just a senior in high school, Jackson came up with a plan.
Oshkosh creates performance apparel out of U.S. plastic waste, with a portion of that waste coming from our beach cleanup efforts along the Great Lakes.
Years later, he's now graduated from the University of Michigan, and Oshkosh is a full-blown business.
My eventual goal, though, is to first source only Michigan plastics.
While his business grows, so does the support.
You know, bird's eye view, just to see people start to really care about these issues is the first step.
A bird's eye view of a problem only getting closer to shore. Each year, 22 million pounds of trash ends up in the Great Lakes, just over half of that winding up in Lake Michigan.
Comprised of around 18 plastic bottles worth of waste.
That's why it's important for every step of Oshkosh's process to be sustainable.
I think undoubtedly in our generation, we see the impact more immediately.
To keep our homes feeling like homes.
We're thinking about our kids and our kids' kids.
For the next generation of kids.
For me, that's always what it's been about.
Who find their home in the water, just like Jackson.
And staying with stories on our environment, while climate change can certainly affect our crops, the Environmental Protection Agency says agriculture can also contribute to climate change. There are ways you as a consumer can try to cut down on that impact. ABC News' Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z has more.
It is that time of year when the fall crops are popping. Apples, pumpkins, squash, they're all plentiful. But not all farms are equal when it comes to how they treat the earth. If you want to make a sustainable choice, you can ask one very important question. Do they use synthetic fertilizer?
One of the biggest impacts that farms have on the global climate is the use of synthetic fertilizers.
Ryan Galt, director of the Agriculture Sustainability Institute at UC Davis, explains that synthetic fertilizers take a lot of fossil fuels to produce and can release a large amount of nitrous oxide and phosphorus, which contribute to human-amplified climate change. But some farms use manure and compost or green waste as fertilizer, which can have a huge positive impact. Galt says that this, combined with cover cropping, which is just planting crops that cover the soil, can actually capture carbon to help reduce emissions.
The really cool thing about agriculture is it is a major source of greenhouse gases, but it can also be a major solution in terms of climate change, because we know the practices that farmers can use to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture and to really sequester a considerable amount of carbon in the soil using those practices as well.
Not all organic farmers are certified, but if you are doing your annual apple picking trip or hitting up the farmer's market, just ask them, how do you grow your food? With this Climate Minute, I'm Ginger Z.
And for some, fall may be a season for camping, but with recent incidents at campgrounds around the country, it's also a season to keep safety in mind. 13 on your side's Liliana Murillo joins us with what you can do to make sure you have a safe camping trip.
While the summer season has come to an end, you may be trying to squeeze in those last-minute camping trips this fall. While campgrounds are a nice place to relax with family and friends, there are important safety tips to keep in mind. And if you see something unusual, know what to do.
Obviously, with what happened in that campground, we don't want it to happen in our Michigan state parks.
Camping.
a time to make s'mores and play cornhole. While this environment is an easy one to let your guard down, there are still safety precautions the DNR urges campers to take.
The parks themselves are very safe, but when our visitors do bring their kids to the parks, we want to make sure they're even more safe within the campground.
So what should parents make sure they do?
Just making sure you're keeping track of your kids and where they're at any given time. And if they want to go out and explore in the parks, again, parks are very safe, but try to do it in groups rather than going out individually. Just give them those boundaries and where they can and cannot be. Give them a time frame when you want them back to the campsite. So secure your campsite, put everything away in the evening, lock the camper. If kids are staying in the tent, maybe an adult could stay with them in the tent so there's somebody in there with them. Rather than just having the kids outside by themselves. Familiarize yourself and your kids with the location, maybe give them a map so they know where things are and how to get around, to make sure your kids know your phone number as the parent. So if we find them, then we know how to get a hold of the parent.
The DNR also have their own safety measures put into place. Whalen says Michigan DNR has controlled campgrounds, meaning only registered campers are allowed in. There are also park staff available in case of an emergency. But during off seasons, if a staff member isn't there, the DNR advises you call 911. For another look at the safety reminder checklist, you can visit our website, 13onyourside.com. For 13 on Your Side, I'm Liliana Murillo.
Now you're up to date with the latest forecast and some outdoor and climate news from here in West Michigan and around the country. You can always find more online, 13onyourside.com, or by downloading our news and weather apps. For now, though, thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.